Hello, my name is Aislinn and today I'll be taking over the socials and answering all of the questions that were sent in on Friday. How is chemotherapy given? So chemotherapy is given in different forms, but here we often give it intravenously. So that is either through peripheral access, such as a cannula, which you may have had before if you've ever been in hospital, or via more permanent lines, such as PICC lines and port lines. Lots of information on those as well. It's usually given via a pump. I'll try and put a picture here or put one on the next bit. The pump is something where we attach the chemotherapy drug to. You're attached to it the whole time the drug's going through, and there's usually a flush before and a flush afterwards just to make sure that all the drug's gone through. Whilst you're hooked up to the machine, you can do as you need to. We always just say to take precaution of the access that we have, and then also when you go into the bathroom you have to go with the machine, but it's on wheels so it's not too hard. So how long will you be with us on the unit? So that completely depends on you. Before you start your treatment, the oncologist and yourself will go through the regime and they'll discuss the drugs that you'll be having. Then before your first appointment, you will always have a pre-assessment, and if you're having treatment at Clatterbridge, Liverpool, the pre-assessment will be done here. That's with a member of our team, one of the nurses, and they can go through a little bit about the regime, the frequency, so how often you'll be visiting, but also a little bit about the day and how long to expect to be here with us. Everyone's different drugs, different regimes, so it's completely personal on you, and we can go through that with you when you attend. So what do I need to bring to my treatment appointment? And the answer is just yourself. Like we said earlier, if you're on any regular medications, bring them as well. If there's any snacks, bits and bobs, bring them to keep yourself entertained and occupied. So some people bring laptops, arts and crafts, tablets, phones. What I would say is if you're watching a series, please do bring headphones, just because if lots of people are watching different things, it all sort of blurs into one because it's a very open plan. So headphones are great. So one of the questions we've been asked a lot is, can I eat when I'm having treatment, but also can I take my regular medications? And the answer is yes. We'll check all your medications before you start treatment to make sure there's no issues with them, and then take what you need to, and if you're due a dose when you're with us for your treatment, please bring them along and we'll check again on the day, but we'll be happy for you to take them here. In relation to food, yes, you can eat whilst you're on treatment. We provide a lunch if you're with us over lunchtime, and we also provide hot drinks and cold drinks, but if there's any snacks, any bits and bobs you want to bring, please do bring them yourself. We have a hot tap and a fridge for storage, but we don't have a microwave, unfortunately. But yeah, a little packed lunch, a breakfast, a brunch, whatever you fancy, bring it in. Does chemotherapy hurt? So no, it shouldn't hurt. When you attend the unit, when you're having the treatment, and when you leave the unit, you should always feel the same. There should be no major changes. The only exception may be is if we're giving you some medicines such as antihistamines as part of the treatment regime. But if we were giving them to you, we'd explain, this is what we're giving you, this is how you should feel. If there's any changes, please let us know. Obviously, with it being perhaps a new drug in many instances, we're always that little extra bit cautious, just to make sure that you're feeling well. When you're with us on the unit, it's very open plan, so in the middle there's a nurse's station, so often there's people walking past or in eye line, but you always have a call bell with you next to you on your chair, so if there are any changes, we always say press that, highlight it to us, we can come over, do an assessment, make sure we're happy, and then we can go from there. So there's lots of different chemotherapy drugs. They can be given in combination, they can be given on their own. There's also different types of treatment, including targeted treatments and immunotherapies. It would completely depend on an oncologist and their decision, and that's something that could be discussed in more depth with them. But there's lots of different drugs, and it's completely independent and dependent on the person. So one of the questions was, does chemotherapy mean that I'll lose my hair? People often think that all chemotherapy means you'll lose your hair, but this isn't the case. Some drugs do cause total hair loss, so alopecia, whereas some do just cause thinning. So if you were going to be starting a drug which does cause total hair loss, here at Clatterbridge we do offer a cool cap machine, but we also offer a wig voucher. This is something we can go through a little bit more again at that pre-assessment when you attend. So the cool cap is a machine. I'll try and put a photo here. It's a machine where there is a cap applied to your head, and the aim of the cap is to freeze them hair follicles to prevent hair loss. It's fitted before treatment, and it stays on for the entirety of treatment and for a while afterwards. That time at the end depends on the drug that you're having, but again, we can discuss that on an individual basis. The cap's applied and it looks a little bit like a swim cap. It's quite compact and it's got a chin strap as well, just to make sure it's secure and in place. The aim of the cap obviously is to freeze them hair follicles, so it isn't perhaps the most comfortable thing, but it is described by many as manageable.